Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing today? My name is Suzanne Benatar. I am a product manager at Michael's in the kids division. And today we're going to be making weaving butterflies. I actually made this one very quickly last evening. So just as an example, I think there was a couple of questions. One of them was, will we need hot glue? The answer is no. And I'm going to actually tell you right now what we need to have for the class. So first thing you need are some scissors. You will need 1 or 2 chenille stems or pipe cleaners, some markers, as many colors as you want. I only have 3. Craft sticks. If you have the large size, that would be ideal, but any size will do. I actually made this one with the really small standard size craft sticks. So either size will work. And then any kind of yarn, string, cording that you want to use to be able to wrap your butterfly. And oh, and then beads. If you have any beads around, whether they be the pony beads, wood beads, glass beads, any kind, you may want to have those as well to finish out making the butterfly. Are there any questions?
So we have one, somebody ran out of jumbo popsicle sticks. Is there anything else that they can use?
Do you have other popsicle sticks? If not, then if you can quickly run outside and maybe find 2 small little twigs or little sticks, you could certainly use those as well.
Okay, and how about different markers?
Different markers. Any kind of markers will do.
Okay.
It's just for decorating at the end on the wings of your butterfly.
Okay. And what about anything to substitute for the...
Did I pull out glue? Crafting
yes,
glue? Okay.
I think so. Anything for the chenille stems or the pipe cleaners? Any substitutions?
That is a good one. If anybody else has suggestions, let me know. I know you need to have something to be able to make the antennas. So I'm trying to think. My initial thought is a straw, but you can't really bend a straw. Anybody else has other suggestions? Maybe if you
maybe twist ties from like through bread.
Oh yeah, it's a great idea. And then we can attach a bunch of them to make them long for the project. So remind me when we get to the point where we have to attach the chenille stems, remind me about twist ties if anybody's using twist ties. The other thing I was going to say is if you have any kind of ribbon, especially the ribbon that has like the wired edges, those could work here as well.
All right, I think that's it.
All right, so let's get started. First thing you want to do is grab 2 craft sticks, or if you have other materials that you're using, like maybe you're using pencils, you could also do, like I said earlier, twigs. But you want to take 2 craft sticks and make an X. You can make the X, try to make it as wide as possible so that you have a lot of air between all sides of the craft stick. And then what you'll need to do is put a little bit of glue on one side of the craft stick. In this case, I'm just going to do it right in the center, just a little bit. And then we are going to put the craft stick back on. And then we are going to wait for it to dry. You don't have to glue, but it does help keep the sticks together when we're weaving. So if you don't have glue, you could try tape. You could try, if you have any glue dots, or you can just try weaving without any glue. So let's take a couple, probably like a minute or 2 for the glue to dry, and then we can start weaving. So what does everyone know about butterflies? Has anyone seen a butterfly lately? Because they're kind of rare now, and so it's not often that we see butterflies every day. Oh, a lot of people have. What kind of colors have you seen on the butterflies? Yep, yellow and orange. I once went to a butterfly garden in Wilmington, North Carolina, and it was just amazing to go inside this garden and just see all these butterflies flying around. And some actually came and sat on top of my head, and another one actually came and sat on my finger, and one actually ended up on my son's nose when we were walking through. It was really cool. And there were so many different colors and varieties. It was so cool. Yeah, monarchs. I think that's the most common one here in the United States. Do you guys know what a butterfly comes from? Like what it was before it became a butterfly? Yeah, a caterpillar. Yep. Well, you guys are really smart. So I'm just curious, how old are you on here on the class? Wow, you guys are really smart. Awesome. All right, well, let's see. If you do a little wiggle on your craft sticks, and if they're not moving, then it means that the glue has dried. So we can then start with the next step. And the next step will be picking your yarn of choice to wrap the center. So we're going to be doing, I only did one color on my example, but you can do 2 colors. You could even do 3 colors. So what we're going to do first is we're going to wrap the center. So we're going to make like that little, like her body. And then we're going to wrap the wings. So you can do the body in one color, and you could do the wings in another color, or you could do each wing in its own color. So you guys can choose. I am going to start with blue as my center color. Let me just find the end. Oh, here we go. All right. So what you're going to want to do is hold your craft sticks in one hand, and then you're going to take the end of your yarn, and I like to put it on the front side, but you can also put it on the back side if you want, and you'll hold it with one finger, and then you will just start weaving only through the center. So let me do it this way. All right, so you're just going to start weaving, and you want to make sure that your yarn goes over the tail of your yarn, and your tail was the end that you started with. And you just want to wrap it till you feel like it's like thick enough. I haven't really counted to see how many times I'm wrapping, but I would say that's probably enough, because if you look and see how thick the sides are, I think that's going to be enough. But if you want to be on the safe side, you could always do it 2 or 3 more times. And then you will want to cut your yarn. And I would suggest cutting on the long side, because we will be using this tail to connect the yarns that we're going to use on the wing. So for right now, what I would suggest is just taking the yarn, and if you can, just fold it under or pull it under one of the yarns one of the loops that's already on the stick. So I took this, I think I took this little, I don't know if you can see, but I lifted up one of the edges, and then I just pulled the tail through. It's hard to see in the blue. So has everybody finished that part?
So you've got some people who are waiting for their glue to dry on their sticks. And then others who are, I think it looks like they have their yarn on.
Yep. And I saw one person said if they could paint, and absolutely, if you'd rather just paint your sticks. cannot use yarn, that is absolutely fine.
Yep. And don't worry, guys, I'm sure we'll be making more than one butterfly today. So we will be repeating some of these steps if you have missed out or if you are running a little bit behind, okay?
All right, so now let's go on to making our wings. So pick another color, or if you want to keep it in one color, which is monochromatic, you're welcome to do that as well. But you can make your butterfly any color you would like. So basically we'll do the same thing as we did to wrap the center. We will now take the tail of the new color and we will just hold it with our finger. And this time we're gonna weave in and out of the sticks. So I'm starting on the back. So I have my finger on the back side of the butterfly. And now I have it down here at the bottom of the butterfly. And I'm going to wrap it over the bottom stick and under the top stick. So over the bottom, under the top. And then we're gonna go over the top and under the bottom. Over the bottom, under the top. Over the top, under the bottom. And we're just gonna keep doing that until we feel like it's gotten wide enough. So again, we're just going under and over, under and over. And it's okay if you missed, like I just did, I think. Yes, I did miss one. So we're going over, under, but it's okay if you're not able to continuously go over and under because it can get, you can easily lose your way. Just like I am, and I think I cannot talk and do this at the same time. All right, over, under. Wait, I'm not, I'm not. And I'm going to stop about here is where I'm going to stop. And I'm going to make a long tail and I'm going to snip it off. And then I'm going to take that tail and the original tail and I'm going to make a knot. Just like that. So this is the back side now. So every side, the side that has the knots, it will be your back side. And then I will take my yellow yarn and I'll start wrapping or weaving on the other side. And again, I will start on the back side and I'll hold my finger in place. And then I will start under and over the bottom. And then you want to make sure the yarn. If you're having trouble keeping your yarn, the tail of your yarn onto the sticks, you could also do another knot here if you would like to keep it in place. Hold on. You can do that. Keep the tail down, and then you can start your wrapping. Under, over, over, under, under, over, over, under. And then again, just kind of with your eyes, kind of gauge where you feel you have gotten to the same place on this side as you did on that side, and then you can stop wrapping. And then you're going to want to cut a tail, and then pick any of the yarn, any of your previous knots, and you can just create another knot. And that is it for weaving. So yours should look something like this. And then I just have a couple of different tails on the back. And then what you can do is cut them shorter so that you can barely see them. And if you want, you can try to tuck them under. But since this is the back side, it doesn't really, it's not that important. It's all about the front side. So is everybody there? People still wrapping or weaving?
We've got some people still wrapping. We've got some people hoping there's enough time for another butterfly so they can see the first step again while their glue is drying.
So after weaving, we are going to take a chenille stem or a pipe cleaner, and you're going to want to fold it in half. Just like that. It's just folded. Got a little twisted. It's just folded in half. And then what you want to do is open it up just a little bit, and you're going to slide the butterfly through with the arch of the chenille stem at the bottom of your butterfly. So I have the arch is right here at the bottom. And then you have your two ends at the top. Okay? Then what you're going to do is grab two beads. And in this case, somebody asked earlier if you need to have beads. You don't have to. You could just right now, if you don't have beads, you could just twist your chenille stem at the bottom so that it's closed and stays in place like that. But if you do have pony beads, and before you twist it, don't twist it yet, you want to slide two pony beads through. It's gonna be a little hard, but you're just gonna want to push it through, just like that. Okay, show you the pretty side. And then you're gonna want to take one more and run it through, and then just bend and twist your chenille stem. You could bend the chenille stem to the back so it looks like that. And then on the front, all you see are the two pony beads. Then at the top, you will pull them together, your two ends together, and you will take another bead and you will put both ends through the pony bead. And then just slide the pony bead down to the top. So basically you're making its head. And that's it. And then we're gonna make its antennas. So you can either just spread them out and leave them like that if you want. Or you can take your finger or take a pencil, or if you have a skinny marker, you can take your marker and just fold the chenille stem over your marker, your pencil, and then pull out your marker and then just reposition the chenille stem so it kind of looks like that. And then you're going to want to do it on the other side. Wrap it and then pull it out and then just spread them out. Ta-da!
So we have some people asking what they can use if they don't have beads.
So if you don't have beads, you can just, like as I said earlier, you can just twist your chenille stem and then you can curl them. Or if you do have other chenille stems, you could cut the chenille stems down and you could wrap it around your other chenille stem if you want to add some color. So just like that.
Love it.
Otherwise, you don't have to do anything. You can just wrap your chenille stem and you just have the center of its body. And now the last thing to do is finish decorating the rest of its wings. So everything here that does not have any yarn on it, so all of the exposed craft sticks, you can then just take your markers or your paint or your pens or your color pencils, and you can just start doodling. You can either completely color it in, or in my case, I'm just going to do polka dots. I just love polka dots. And I can do polka dots in many different colors. You could draw flowers. You could write your name. You could put a sentiment on there like love or summer. I mean, it is summer after all, right? And we are doing a summer activity. Just like that. So I will finish up coloring here so that I can make another butterfly for you guys. So what have you guys been doing for the summer? Have you guys taken other camp creativity classes? Did any of you make the beaded wind chime with my friend Ashley the other day? Oh, so cool. Ooh, a Harry Potter camp. That sounds cool.
I'm definitely jealous.
We haven't gotten into Harry Potter in my house yet, but I think my oldest is now at the age where he's going to be interested. So this is my finished butterfly. So let's make another one. All right. So you're going to take 2 craft sticks. And you're going to just drop a little bit of glue in the center of one craft stick. And then you will place the other craft stick on top and try to have them spaced out as far as possible, like that. Let me get this guy out of the way. I'm gonna put these up here. And then we will just let it wait for it to glue or for it to dry. All right, so for those of you who haven't started wrapping yet, have you picked out your colors? Have you figured out what you're going to use to wrap your craft sticks? I'm going to pick purple this time. So another tip in wheat and wrapping that you could do, if you don't want to just hold it with your finger, you could just take your yarn and just make a knot or tie it around the craft sticks and then just tie a knot that way. And then just remember that this becomes the back side because you have a tail here now. So this is your back side of your craft stick or of your butterfly. And then just start wrapping, just like that. And just kind of go from one side to the other as you're wrapping. Are we good? Do I need to wait for some people? Plane watching. Oh, I love watching planes. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so every now and then I'll take my boys to the Dallas International Airport and we will just watch all of those jumbo jets take off and land, and it's so cool to watch them come in. All right, so I'm going to stop because I've gotten a little full in the center here. And I'm going to make my tail. And then what you can do is tie it again with the previous tail or the original tail. Or you can leave it as is and just take your new yarn and hold it in place. And I did not wait for my sticks to dry fully, so that's why they are coming together, but we will fix that. So that's what happens if you don't glue your sticks, is it's gonna take a little while to keep them in place. But there. All right, so now pick your other color. Either pick two colors or pick one color. And then we can tie a knot. Or in this case, I'll show you guys, if you just hold it in place, what happens. So I will hold it in place on this side. And then we are going to wrap. Here we go. And we will wrap under, or let me start. So from the back side, you will hold your yarn or tie your yarn to the previous tail. And then you will go under the bottom, over the bottom, under the top, over the top, under the bottom, over the bottom, under the top, over the top, under the bottom, over the bottom, under the top, over the top. And you'll just keep going just like that. Till you feel like you've made the wings as big as you want them to be. I'm going to stop here. I will cut the yarn and then I will tie them to one of the previous tails. So if you guys have already made a few of these butterflies, and you've made more than 2 so far, there are other characters that you could make with these craft sticks with yarn. What do you think they are? What other animals do you think you can make with these? I'm going to start on the other side now. Oh, your glue dots aren't working. I'm sorry. So I think what you'll do is, this basically is a great example of using the craft sticks without glue or without any kind of adhesive. It's just going to be a little bit harder to keep the craft sticks separated, and you won't have as firm, like as big of a space on the one without glue as you would with the one with glue, because this is the one that was with glue, and this is the one where I didn't let the glue dry long enough, and so you can see the difference in its shape, but it still is going to look like a butterfly. It will just be a different butterfly, which is okay because there's so many different varieties of butterflies out there. So now I'm going to start on the other side. And I'm just going to hold my tail. And then just like last time, we will go under the bottom stick, over, under top, over top. And just kind of keep sliding your yarn down so you cover as much of the center as possible. You can see that, it's kind of hard to see. There's a little bit of a gap there, so you want to try to push your yarn down as much as possible. And then we probably can stretch out the center of the body too, so it'll fill in some more of the wood. But I lost where I was. Let me start over. All right, so under the bottom, over the bottom, under the top, over the top, over the bottom, under the top, over the top, under the bottom, over the bottom, under the top, over the top, under the bottom, over the bottom, and just so on and so on. So did anyone answer on what other animals we could make with these craft sticks?
So we had lots of answers. Somebody said a snake, bees. Somebody said you can make a bow tie for an animal. And we had caterpillar, dragonflies, ladybugs, maybe a bird. Yeah. Lots of ideas.
The other one you could make is a frog. Make a frog with these as well. And a spider. Did anyone call out a spider? You know, Halloween's going to be coming up soon, and you could make a spider for Halloween. All right, so now I'm going to do just a little bit more. And then I'm going to take and knot it to one of the previous tails. All right, so I will, because somebody asked earlier in case they weren't able to figure it out, I will make the antennas and the tail with just a chenille stem, but I'll tell you when you can put your beads on if you still want to do beads. So first thing you gotta do is fold the chenille stem in half. And then you're gonna wanna take the the center of the chenille stem, or in this case, I'm gonna call this part the bottom and this part the top. So you wanna take the bottom and slide it through the butterfly. So, and you wanna do it in the center. Oh, but first I forgot to tell you, first cut off all your tails so they don't get in your way. Make them as short as you can without getting the knots to come undone. All right, so you're gonna put it in the center of the body and you wanna keep a little bit of it down from the craft sticks so that you can pinch it and twist. And this is also where, if anyone found twist ties, you can connect probably, I don't know, maybe three or four or six twist ties together. And then you're gonna wanna fold it just like we did with the chenille stem. And then I bet you it'll work that way. I've never tried it, but if you are doing it and it does work, just let me know. I'd love to know. So in this case, I just twisted the tail. But before I twisted, you could put your pony beads on and then twist. And then at the top, I will twist them again a few times just to keep them in place. So it looks like that so far. And then we will take our marker, pencil, pen, whatever you're using, pencil, and roll the chenille stem around it or curl it just a little bit and then pull it out. And then just reposition your antennas. So they're like so. And we can do it again. And pull it out. Reposition, just like so. So there it is, making the antennas and the tail of the butterfly without pony beads. So here's what you can see with pony beads and without pony beads. Still just as pretty. And if you want, you could take your chenille stems and cut a little off and use that in place of the bead. So take it and put it right at the end, at the bottom where it meets the yarn, and just wrap, chenille, just wrap and twist. It's very super easy to twist. Just like that. And there you go. Well, I should have picked an orange or something so you can see the difference between the purple chenille stem and the yarn. It's right there. And you can do the same thing at the bottom. I will take orange this time. And you could take your orange little piece of chenille stem, pipe cleaner, and wrap it around the bottom. Just like so. See that? And then if you want to be like the previous one, you could pick 2 colors of your chenille stems and tie 2 at the bottom. You could also tie 2 at the top too if you wanted. And now you could either leave it just like it is, or you can decorate your wings. How's everybody doing? Are we getting the hang of it?
I think they're getting the hang of it for the most part. And don't forget, everybody, that if you need a little more time, if you're still working on it, if your glue's still drying, you can view the recording of this class in 24 to 48 hours on the Michaels website where you signed up for classes in the kids section. So don't forget that you can always go back and try it again. And, you know, if you need a little help from a parent, ask them to sit down with you and do it together.
And I'd love it if you guys posted some of your pictures of the butterflies you made to michaels.com.
Yeah. Have a parent or an adult post it to social media and make sure that they use hashtag Michaels classes and hashtag Make It With Michaels so that we can see them and see what a good job you guys did.
So I just did lines this time. You can see it. Yeah. This time I just did lines. Let's see. Not too bad, huh?
Not too shabby.
I could go and do probably 5 more. All right, are there any questions? Does anybody need me to show you another step or something you weren't sure about how to do?
The beads again.
The beads.
The beads again.
So I actually have a blank example here. So I won't wrap it. I'll just use this as my example. So we will take this chenille stem, we'll fold it in half. And before I put it on, I'll show you what I'm doing. So here's the chenille stem, and the craft sticks would go through the center like that. Okay, but you will take the bottom of your chenille stem and you will pull it. The beads are so small. You will pull it through the hole and push. Push through, and then it comes through like that. You can pick and then take 2. So it looks like that. And then you'll take your tail or the bottom of the chenille stem and just bend it up towards the back of your butterfly so that it keeps those beads from falling off. See that? So this is the front side where you see the pony beads. And then this is the back side where you see the chenille stems. So you've already had yours connected to your butterfly. So I'm just going to put mine on right now. So it's like that. I'll fix the tail so you can't see it. Like that. And then you will take another pony bead and you'll take the 2 ends, put them together. So it looks like one, and then push those through the pony bead and just slide it down till it hits the top of the yarn. So I think it'd be about here. Does that help?
It does. And can you just real quick show them how to twirl their yarn at the end with their little markers?
So then you'll want to separate out the chenille stems for the 2 ends like this. And then you will take pencil. You can also take your finger, a little harder, but if you have a pencil or a marker, and you will just roll it. Pull it right around. So it's a kind of hanging, like that. And then you'll just pull it out like that. So you have this little tight little curl, and then you can just pull it up a little bit and space it out like so.
Awesome. And while we've got a butterfly there real quick, and I know you probably don't have time to do a whole one, but just how to weave the yarn up and down. Maybe we have a front facing view of it so they can see it better.
Yeah, sure.
Or at least from a different angle.
Yeah. All right.
They're loving it. We've got people making lots of butterflies. Somebody says they're gonna teach a butterfly class at camp.
Oh, awesome. All right, so take your yarn, take the end of your yarn, put it behind you or behind the craft sticks. So it looks like your view should look like this. So you see the front of the craft sticks and the yarn is on the back side. It looks like that, okay? You're gonna wanna keep a finger on the back to keep that tail in place. And then you're going to just grab it from the bottom. And I'll do it again this way. I'll do it backwards. So you're gonna grab it from the bottom and then you will just start wrapping. And I am holding the tail in place and making sure that as I'm wrapping, the yarn goes over the tail and kind of hides it. See, can't see it anymore. And then you just keep wrapping, just like that. And you kind of want to go a little like in a W formation or like a zigzag so that you're kind of balancing out the yarn across the whole center and not just keeping it right in the middle. See that? Now I think the harder one to weave is probably the wings. So let me just do a little more. We'll stop there. And I'm just going to, for now, for the time, I'm just going to, I loosened up one little loop from previous, and I'm just going to take the tail. See that? I'm just going to take the tail and pull it through. Just like that. So that way it's temporarily in place. And then I'm going to take a new color or the same color. And I'm going to, just like I did the first time, I'm going to put the tail on the back side. So when I'm looking at it, it looks like that, right? And then I'm going to pull it out from under the bottom stick and wrap over the bottom and then wrap under the top one and then over the top and then under the bottom, over the bottom, under the top, over the top, under the bottom, over the bottom, under the top, over the top. You see that?
So it's like a figure eight.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just keep doing that. Until you feel like the wings are as big as you want them to be. And if you do it slowly, like I am, you'll keep it really flat and smooth. That has to come with a little patience and doing it very slowly. This is probably gonna be the best one. All right, I'm going to stop there. But you can keep going if you want. And then I pulled it to make it tight. And then I'm taking the other tail that I had previous and this new tail, and I'm going to make a knot. I'm going to tie them together. Just like that. And then you would repeat the same thing on the other side. Do you need me to show you the other side? I think we have a little bit of time.
We did have someone ask if the back of ours is as messy as theirs.
I'm sure it is.
Yes.
Well,
That's okay.
And that one, that's why it's the back side. The back side is always the messy side because nobody can see it. And nobody can see it.
Don't forget, everybody, that when you're finished, be sure to ask an adult if they will post a picture of your butterfly to social media for us to see and have them use hashtag Michael's classes and hashtag make it with Michael's.
So again, there I was. I'm going to stop there. And then I will tie it on the back with the purple tail. And it looks like that. And then yes, so you have all these long tails on the back like that. Before you go and put the chenille stems on, I would recommend that you snip them off or cut them off. So your back side looks like that, and your front side looks like that. And then let's take this chenille, I'll take another color. Take the chenille stem, fold it in half. And put it in the center. Keep a little bit down at the bottom and pinch it. So you get the loop to be kind of one. It all kind of comes together like that. It's one. And then you'll take a pony bead or a bead and just push it through. That one went through really quickly. And then you can take another one and just, see, that one didn't go as quickly. And just like that. And now what I'm going to do, so this is your back side of the butterfly. And this little tail down here, I'm going to bend. I'm going to bend it back so it faces the back. Just like that.
We did have somebody who had a great idea and said that you can put beads on either side before you twist it at the top so that you have beads all the way up and down your body.
That is so, oh my God, how clever. Oh, I'd love to see that one. Yeah, so basically what I think they're suggesting is you could just start stringing beads through it now. And you can either pick them all in the same color or you can just alternate colors. You could create your own pattern. Or in this case, because nobody cares what the backside looks like, you could just take and put them all on the front side of the stem. So it looks like that. And then when you go to wrap it over, I don't know that we had to have time for me to do the whole thing, but that's what it would look like. That's really cool. And then we will take a bead or your chenille or another color chenille stem. And then we will close it at the top. Bring the two chenille stems together and weave them through the hole. Pull it down. I do a little twist, keep it in place. And then take your marker, roll. Roll. That was a great suggestion about the pony beads, adding additional ones. And just roll it. And straighten them out. And voila. They're like, okay, so there we go. We have 3 different kinds. I haven't finished decorating this one, but we have the very first one that we made. Then we have the second one, which was the one where the glue didn't dry before I started weaving. And we used chenille stems as the color beads instead of actual beads. And then this is the final one where the recommendation was, or the suggestion was, to fill the front side of the chenille stem with little pony beads. And then we closed it at the top of the bead. We had our beads at the bottom. So
I think that one's my favorite. I love all the colored beads.
This one?
Yeah.
Ah, sweet. So are there any questions? I think we're going to be wrapping up. We're almost at 5 o'clock.
I know. I don't think we have any more questions. Everybody just had a great class. We've had some people say this is their 5-year-old's favorite class so far. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I would love to see your creations. Kids is my passion. I create product every single day for all of you guys. And I have had so much fun crafting with you today and making all of these beautiful butterflies. And hopefully we'll meet up again soon in a future class. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Bye.